All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Monika Corrado here, the Gap Chef. I am here to talk with Monika Holland. So exciting. Today we're going to talk about the Enema Masterclass that she has. We'll talk about other things too, I'm sure. But this is an amazing, amazing course. It is so incredibly needed. It provides so much information for people. How to and why to and troubleshooting, but we're going to talk about specifics in a minute. Do enemas. They are a traditional detoxification modality. It's been around forever. And this particular masterclass really takes all the guesswork out and you can move forward with confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Monika, who's wonderful. Okay, so Monika is a certified GAPS coach. Yes. A nutritional therapist, an HTMA practitioner. She also has a No Plant GAPS course, which I really encourage everyone to take a look at. Really amazing course on that new way of doing GAPS. Yeah, no plant, lots of great information there. And Monika deals with lots of complex cases, Crohn's, oxalates, mold, schizophrenia, etc. All right, so I'm going to read a couple more things and then we'll get right into it. Yes? All right.
Sounds great. Thank you for having me, Monika.
You're welcome. Okay, Monika specializes in severe digestive disorders, mental nervous system imbalances, and autoimmunity. She has walked the walk, having healed her own severe life-threatening Crohn's disease. Let everyone hear that. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's lived it. She's here. Living proof that this works. So great person to connect with on these issues. And yeah, so many other GAPS things. Her personal experience gives her compassion, empathy, and intuition when working with clients to restore their gut-brain connection, rebuild their gut lining, repopulate their microbiome, and help them return to a healthier self. She is an expert in no plant GAPS and detox modalities, including enemas, which is what we're going to talk about today. Also, parasites and heavy metal protocols. Think of Monika as the microbiome researcher who is on a quest to help you on your healing journey. Yes? Shall we go forward?
Well, thank you so much for this lovely introduction, Monika. I'm really excited to chat with you again. It's always a pleasure to discuss things with you, and yeah, I'm looking forward to today's conversation.
Yes. Let me just say, you can find Monika's classes. These are approved, GAPS approved courses. They're sitting on the gapstraining.com website. They're sitting on her own website. Tell me your own website.
It's monikaholland.com. And yes, the courses have been blessed.
Monika with a K. Yep.
Yes, that's the correct Monika with the K. And obviously the course has been blessed and checked by Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride. So
yes.
There is a guarantee that the information are checked and verified by the best source of information in the world.
Yes, by the GAPS, by, the queen of GAPS, we call her.
Absolutely.
Right? So these are GAPS certified courses. So take a look at them. There's a lot of stuff out there that really is fine, but it's not going by the book, if you will, and blessed by the creator of GAPS herself, Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride. Also, these courses are sitting on my website because I am totally behind them, and I love to refer my clients to them. It really takes the burden off of me as practitioner to be able to say, go over there. Monika Holland really knows what she's doing. She's put a fantastic class together, and there's all the information you need with videos and all sorts of good stuff. So it's really, really good. All right. Okay. So let's get started, shall we? Anything you want to say to start, or should we just start questions?
No, let's just go ahead and start with questions.
Good. Okay, so first question, why did you create a masterclass on enemas?
Well, I think my personal experience and then later on experience of my clients kind of inspired me to put all this content together. And if I just tell you very briefly my experience with enemas, because when I was a young adult and I was already diagnosed with the Crohn's disease, I was already suffering with multiple issues. I've already had heavy metals. I've already had that radiation from Chernobyl in my body. And my body was basically failing, collapsing, you name it, whatever word you want to use. And my parents took me to a Russian doctor, Russian naturopathic doctor, who would come to the village next to where we lived, maybe twice or three times a year. He would spend a month or 2 months there. And when he saw me, first thing he gave me butter, real butter from Russia. He said, "You're so malnourished, you need to eat butter." And number two, he said, "We need to do coffee enema on you." Obviously, I was terrified by the whole even thought and experience, but I was so desperate. I was in so much pain. I was in so much, I was so poorly. I said, okay, that's fine. Obviously, I've discussed it with my parents. They were terrified, but they said, okay, let's do it because, nothing is working. And the whole first experience was terrifying. It was absolutely appalling and horrendous experience, and it put me off for many, many, many years. Why? There are two reasons. One, imagine you are a young girl, young woman, and very conscious of my body, very conscious about everything, and you've got this oldish Russian male doctor who is putting that pipe at the back rear without any maybe compassion or he wasn't gentle, I would say. And then he's using a very old-fashioned enema kit, which doesn't have the valve to kind of, adjust the pressure.
Right.
It's painful. It's embarrassing. It's terrifying. It's cramping was so bad. It was really, really bad experience. So I've had it just once. And then I said, no more, absolutely no more. It stressed me out so much. It created so many fears. And I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't see the results. I didn't see any benefits. I actually felt worse after it. So many years after, so fast forward when I started my GAPS journey. And in the meantime, I was kind of researching enemas because everyone raving about enemas, but so there must be something about it. So I was researching, started the GAPS diet, started improving. And I said, okay, now I'm building up my confidence into doing it again, but this time I will do it. So my second enema, well, the first enema on the GAPS journey, my husband helped to administer it. So I was lying down on the floor in the bathroom, and he was sitting on the edge of the bath, holding my hand and holding the valve, and he was administering, changing the pressure, because I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. So the first experience wasn't as bad as the experience with the Russian doctor, but it was still not ideal. But I said, okay, I'm doing it. I felt horrible, but I said, I'm doing it because I know it's going to be good for me. So over following weeks and months, I've made so many mistakes. I made the coffee enema too strong. I was doing them too often. I've lost lots of electrolytes. I crushed my adrenals. I was making so many mistakes with enemas that, then when I actually figure out the right way of doing everything, I started hearing very similar feedback from other people. And then later on, when I was working with people, my clients started reporting the same issues. So I thought, hey, I'm not the only one. I've got a bunch of clients who are doing the same. I keep repeating the same information and I want to get out to more people. So why don't I just put that masterclass? And I think the main goal for me was to, first of all, address misinformation. As you rightly said before, that there is so much information out there about NMS, but there is a lot of conflicting information about NMS, and people are very confused what to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to clarify the whole process. I want to address any safety concerns. I wanted to remove fears of, of the whole process. And I wanted to provide all these practical guidelines. And that's when, Enema Masterclass was born.
And we know that enemas, Dr. Natasha is 100% more than that behind enemas. It is, as we teach the CGP classes, the CGC classes, as I teach them with her, or, for her, if you will, she will come in and speak and say, enemas, really, I'm totally paraphrasing, but enemas are like the #1 way to get detoxification down. She will say it over and over and over again. And she goes into the importance of them in the yellow book. She goes into the importance of them in the blue book, but it's still just, it's one place or two places. It's in the book. But now your course takes that information and that very, very clear. She's clear about the importance of these things, of using the enema for detoxification and using it throughout the GAPS protocol for everyone. Young, old, middle, well, not for everyone. Some, we'll talk about that. Sometimes coffee enemas are contraindicated for some group of people, small group of people. But, to have that, for you to take that very important piece of the GAPS protocol and put it together in a way that people can use it, that it takes away the fear and the worry, the doubt, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right? All that stuff. I'm not sure if I have the right stuff. What's it supposed to do? What if this happens? So yeah, it's really, I am thrilled that it's out there. As a practitioner and as a, a CGP and as a faculty member, to be able to say, go there. You have questions? Go there. Okay, fabulous. So that's why you created the masterclass. Well, I know it's doing a lot of good for a lot of people. Yeah, really good. Okay, so here's a question. How long have enemas been used? I say very long time, but how long have they been used as a method of detoxification? Around the world, really?
Oh God, yeah, you're right. Very, very, very long time. So, the historical records actually show that even ancient civilizations, so this is the Roman Greeks, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, they've practiced enemas for health and wellness purposes. So I remember on my research, I think there were records showing enemas being used for those reasons around 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. So if you think about it, enemas is not like a modern, trendy detoxification modality. It's a very well-established modality, very safe,
Yes.
and very well-tested over 3,000 years ago. And
yes.
I just wanted to add to it, obviously, we don't have any records if it was used before that time. Maybe, maybe not. But what I wanted to mention around here, that even traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, they were all recommending and using it as a part of the whole holistic approach in healing. And in the modern times, if we think how we kind of got about and how kind of passionate they become, it was, well, the story comes from at the First World War, when the German nurses were preparing German soldiers for surgery. And obviously one of the nurses, she grabbed a jug full of coffee instead of water, because I can't remember specifically, but I think they ran out of the water. So she administered that coffee solution to the colonics before the surgery. It turns out that the patient reported, "Hey, I'm not in pain anymore." They reported, people started recovering. Those soldiers started recovering from the surgeries much faster.
Wow.
So then German scientists started actually studying effectiveness of it. So there is a lot of data coming from the First World War and post First World War scientific records showing that it's effective. But it wasn't until around mid-50s where Max Gerson started utilizing that knowledge and started utilizing that modality, adding coffee enemas into his anti-cancer protocol.
Yes.
And that's where probably started becoming a little bit more well-known after it's been forgotten. And since that time, many health practitioners help their patients and clients to kind of implement it and support the healing journey. And as you've mentioned, it's a very compatible part of the GAPS protocol. It is a part of the GAPS protocol. So that's pretty much the story of how long it's been used for detoxification.
Fabulous. Yes, it's very much a part of the GAPS journey. It really should be very much a part of everyone's journey, since there's so many toxins in the world, but we're not going to go there right now, right? Like, it's everywhere. So support yourself, right?
Absolutely. I have so many clients who recover and then they just continue doing coffee enemas maybe once a month, maybe once every 3 months, because we do accumulate that toxicity. We live in a very polluted world and we need to support that detoxification system.
Yes. Yes. So we're talking about coffee enemas. However, you have 3 different types of enemas that are on 3 different categories, right, in the masterclass? Coffee enemas is one category, I believe. Could you tell us about the other categories and when you would use them?
So we've got 3 categories. One is a cleansing enemas, retention enemas, and implant enemas. So cleansing enemas, the goal of cleansing enema is basically you want to take the poop out of your body mechanically.
Yes.
So it doesn't do much more. It's just basically you put the water in, the first urge comes, you take the water out and you sit on the toilet and you poop it out. There are a few variations of cleansing enema. You can add mineral salt, you can add baking soda, and those things will be kind of adding to some therapeutic benefits to that cleansing enema. But the principle is we don't hold cleansing enema. We put it in when the urge comes. We sit
let
down
it out.
on the we let it out.
We put it in, we let it out.
Yes.
Let it flow. Get everything moving, clearing, clean. Yeah.
And then we've got that second group of enemas, which is retention enema. And coffee enema is one of the retention enema. So let me just give you a very quick explanation what retention enema is. So this type of enemas, we tend to hold for at least 12 to 15 minutes to achieve some sort of therapeutic results. And obviously, depending what type of enema we use, then we're going to gain different reasons. So coffee enema, the main goal of coffee enema is to detoxify blood, support the liver. Remember, liver is the headquarters of the detoxification system. And coffee enema is possibly the most impactful, the most beneficial modality which supports and regenerates that liver. So in order to cleanse the whole blood, we need to hold it for 12 to 15 minutes because that's how many times the liver will circulate the blood through the system. So then that whole blood will be cleansed, and after 15 minutes again you poop it out. And for those who are listening and they tried coffee enema and they said like, what if I cannot even hold it, or I can hold it for 2 minutes? You still get some benefits out of it. So, but you need to train the body and do certain things in order to hold it. And there is a whole module about that in a whole section in the training module. But another examples of let's say retention enema would be, well, it depends again what we want to achieve, because for instance garlic enema, Garlic enema is a wonderful enema which helps with candida, with yeast, with breaking biofilms. It's got a very strong anti-parasitic benefits. So again, that would be retention enema. Chamomile enema is another example of another retention enema, and it's wonderful for sleep, it's wonderful anxiety, it's wonderful for restoring that nervous system and calming that down. Another example could be, I don't know, red raspberry leaf enema, which is fantastic for women who've got any issues with reproductive system. So there are plenty of examples of enema which would fall under retention category, because we retain it for 12 to 15 minutes. Right. And the third category are implants. And implants are basically, we hold it for much longer. So,
and implants also, would that be when you're bringing in more like perhaps with sour cream or cultured cream, or implanting more bacteria? Is that what we're doing with the implants?
You can do that as well. You can also add cultured cream and any fermented beverages into retention enema as well.
Yeah.
So there are ways of introducing it, but we just need to remember, whenever we add any probiotic into our enema, it will work 6 times more than when we take it orally. So what do I mean by that? If you can tolerate 1 teaspoon of kefir, do not put 1 teaspoon of kefir in your enema, because the die-off is going to be 6 times stronger.
Wow, that's really wonderful information. Yes.
So in terms of I just wanted to circle back a little bit to implant. Quite often, when people have a lot of compacted matter, and that matter is glued into the gut lining, and that glued matter is a combination of yeast, parasites, and everything is glued and kind of created by biofilms, and everything is just really stuck to the gut wall. Sometimes when people work on it for a really long time and it just doesn't go, implants enema are wonderful, because sometimes we just need to soak that matter, that hardened matter, and that's what implants enema are for. And sometimes we hold it for half an hour, sometimes for 2 hours, sometimes overnight.
And those are things you work up to, that timing?
Oh yeah,
like that, the ability to hold for that long.
Absolutely. So well, and also the amount of the solution, and also with the implant enema, I would always advise people to work with a practitioner or coach who is experienced with that, because everything depends on the level of toxicity in the body. It depends on what is the state of your drainage detox system, and because, for instance, some people may need to start with half a cup of just pure water and hold it. Some of those people will release it in the middle of the night, so they need to kind of put, I don't know, a towel and sleep on an old towel, because there will be an accident. But it's always best to work with somebody, especially if they want to add something to that water enema. If you want to add probiotics, if you want to add herbs, if you want to add other things. I never recommend to have implant enema with coffee enema, with coffee solution, because, as I said, the goal for coffee solution is to regenerate that liver, to cleanse that liver, cleanse that blood. And if that blood, which circulated through the body for 5 times, has already been cleansed within 15 minutes, you're not going to get more effects or more benefits if you keep it for longer. Right.
Great. Okay. Question: are enemas safe for children, and from what age?
Yes. When it comes to the cleansing enemas, there is no limit. There is no, newborn babies can have cleansing enema administered. And in fact, I am from Poland, and originally in Poland, every family used to have like a little cleansing enema kind of bulb in the
Syringe,
bathroom.
yeah, bulb, yep,
Syringe,
yep,
yes.
yeah.
And my mom told me, you know, I was a GAPS baby, and sometimes I was constipated as a baby, and she would just use that bulb, that syringe, to
Yep.
get a little bit of water, and I would then poop out. So that was actually my first enema experience, but
Much better
just
with
to
mom.
clarify,
There you
of
go.
course, much better with mom, yeah. But when it comes to any other enemas, so let's say coffee enemas, Dr. Natasha recommends to wait until the child is at least 12 years old.
Very good. 12 years, everybody. So not before 12 years old. Yes. But what an amazing way to help your child release all that toxicity, the cleansing enemas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about this masterclass that the hope I have is exactly yours, which is to bring this information to people who are too uncomfortable, frightened, worried, don't know what to do, especially for the children, because we have children. In my practice, I'm sure you've heard them too. The moms will come, oh, I have an autistic child. I have a child who's nonverbal. I have a child, whatever. I have a child that's covered with eczema, you name it. We have bless the children and the moms and dads taking care of them, right? But they come and we know that an enema would help. We know. And we say, well, how long, what are they? Oh, my child is constipated. Oh, well, are they not going every day? Oh, they go once a week. And you go, oh, I mean, it's just really horrifying. But they're frightened. And so to get to a point where they're comfortable and confident, is very, very important. And also, as Dr. Natasha says, and I'm sure you say also, the mom or the person who is administering the enema to the child needs to be calm and confident. It needs to be easy, no problem, right? Like you want to get comfortable with this before you start with the children, because it has to be like, no big deal. This is natural. This is something we do. You don't feel well, we do an enema. You have a migraine, we do an enema. You're not going to the bathroom, we do an enema. No problem, right?
Yeah.
It becomes very easy and part of what they do.
Absolutely. Right? I believe that everyone should actually create a ceremony around it. And when it comes to children, we need to recognize that mother and the child are energetically connected, and whatever the mom feels, the child feels. So if mom is fearful, stressed, angry, frustrated, the child will feel that. And approaching enema ceremony should be a fun. Mom should create a fun environment, so that the bathroom should be created. There should be toys, a comfortable kind of sitting, or whether it's obviously a smaller child, the mom obviously holds the child in the arms, singing or playing favorite songs on whatever, even laptop or on iPad, phone, it doesn't matter, but making the bathroom warm, so it's a nice and comfortable environment. And joke about it, because I think we definitely heal better when we're having fun. And sometimes we have to just train ourselves to have a little bit more fun. When I started creating the Enema Masterclass, I've run a Frappuccino challenge. I've run it with my beautiful friend and partner in crime, Chris Howard, who's also a GAPS coach. He's based in the USA, in Florida. And we decided to kind of, test the materials and see how it goes. Is it something what people would like to see being rolled out on a bigger scale? So we had a group of people doing Frappuccino challenge, because we were laughing. You have to laugh at those things. You cannot say like, oh my God, I'm like, my life is so bad because I have to do that coffee enema. No, you're doing Frappuccino. Your husband is having cappuccino and you're having cappuccino at the same time next door. So,
my goodness.
so you know, it's just it's just creating that whatever it takes to make fun out of it, even if you poop yourself after you've done Frappuccino, because there will be situations where you basically crap yourself and it's not going to be on the toilet.
That's right. That's right. Right. Well, you know, when the body is relaxed, laughing, right? When the body is relaxed, the body can heal.
Yeah. Oh,
And you
absolutely.
can do all sorts of things. Yeah. We have to, just like it's like when you eat, you need to be relaxed. We have right the GAPS mealtime ritual. And then when we have our crapping, we need to relax. It will make it easier.
Yeah.
So much easier.
The only thing I would just to add, obviously, one thing, you create a fun environment, you create a Frappuccino environment, just please don't watch funny videos when you want to hold coffee enema, because
That's right.
because every single time when you start laughing,
It will
something else,
go.
it will go, it
Yes.
will go. So it's not going to be helpful.
Right. So laugh before you start, but not when you're holding.
Yes. Then you just relax, get into
That's
the
right.
kind of meditation mind.
Yeah, and you know, for the moms, you know, and the dads and the older, teenagers, adults, whatever, make it a spa experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the babies, we make it fun, or the children, and make it lighthearted. And for ourselves, we make it like a spa, like I'm going to take care of myself now.
I work with moms. I remember a client who has 4 kids. She would wake up 5 o'clock in the morning before everybody else woke up. And she's like, I love my coffee and my ceremony in the morning because this is a me time. For 1 hour, this is a me time. I meditate, I release. It's just like a pampering. This is the best spa you can do for yourself, especially if you're a busy mom.
Yes, and it also does amazing things for brain fog.
Oh gosh.
I mean, in terms of
Absolutely.
clarity, it helps your brain. There are many detoxification techniques. Fasting can also do that, where, you're clearing the blood so well that your brain, you just get like you're there. The fog is gone. And that's a wonderful thing for moms. We've got a lot to be handling. So if you can think better, it's a good thing, right? Or handle more or whatever. Anyway, from your own little spa experience. Yes. All right. Tell me about does the masterclass cover I'm going to assume cover things like equipment that you need and all of that. Like where to find what to use, when, where to find it, that kind of thing, resources, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so there is a whole section, practical section,
Great.
in the masterclass where I go through first of all what type of coffee, because let's start with the coffee. It's very important to know what type of coffee to make, and then how to prepare coffee solution, which is actually therapeutic, because there are lots of recipes online on YouTube, and some of them are just yes, they will help you in terms of you will clear things out, but they're not going to give you those therapeutic levels. And that's what basically cleanse your blood, regenerates your liver, gets rid of that brain fog, restores your nervous system. It helps with the pain, and so many more things that correctly prepared coffee solution is important. And then of course I do go through the equipment, because there are so many different enema kits, and I give people information. This is one option. These are the pros. These are the cons. And this is the second. This is the third. And everything depends on your circumstances. So, for instance, let's say we've got, I don't know, a glass enema bucket, and we've got the stainless steel enema bucket. And some people, they absolutely love seeing how the enema solution goes down in the bucket. Glass bucket will be great option, because the stainless steel bucket you cannot see. Right. And for some people, actually that creates anxiety that they cannot see it. However, if you are a very clumsy person, so let's say you've got a lot of yeast in your body, and typically, clumsiness is very connected with yeast overgrowth. Then if you buy glass enema bucket, well, there are the chances that you would need to replace it on a regular basis because you will be breaking it down.
Yes.
So I go through all the different equipments and pros and cons, and what to use for traveling, what to use for normal use, what to use when you do it just once a month, what to use when you do it daily. So there are lots of options, lots of information to help you make decision what is the right thing for you.
Great. Great. Yes, because you don't want to have someone to come in, do the master class and go, I'm ready. I don't know what to use. Right. So that's really good. That's really good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Is this an evergreen class? Meaning once they purchase the class, do they have access to it for the lifetime?
Yes. All the PDFs, all the videos, all the information, once you sign up, it's with you forever. You can start whenever you want. You can rewatch. You can pause. You can rewatch sections, and it stays with you forever.
Excellent. That's really important, right? So anytime they want, because they could fall off the wagon. I was going to make a funny joke there, but I won't say it. They could like not do it for a while and then be like, oh, I really want to, what was I doing? Or how do I do that? And, there's so much information there, again, about those 3 categories of cleansing enemas and, retention enemas. And then you've got your implant enemas. And that's really, really great information. And they may come to the Enema Masterclass just needing to do cleansing for a while, right? Like they just... And then they graduate to a place where they're like, okay, I'm ready to do coffee enemas, right?
There is the thing about the content in the training session, that it's perfect for those who are just starting out, who have no idea what to do, where to start, how to do it. There is a lot of content for those who are already doing it but needs to adjust that enema journey, and those who need to troubleshoot the problems, because obviously so for instance, quite often I say, oh, enema is amazing for bloating. It will help to reduce gas. It will help to reduce bloating. And then somebody does coffee enema and they said, but I've been so bloated afterwards. Like you told me it will help with the bloating, but it actually created more bloating. So lots of those things. There is a whole module about troubleshooting where I go and I help people to adjust that, to explain what is the reason that bloating happens, or what is the reason you didn't release anything, because people panic. They put enema in and they don't release anything. And then they said like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my body? So, we look into the electrolyte imbalances and so on. And there is also a section for those who are very experienced in enemas. They've been doing them for a while and they can retain them for 12 to 15 minutes. So there is a section for those pro enema
Enema pros.
Enema pros, where I share more advanced techniques to get that kind of enema experience to the next level and to get to the deeper detox and so on. So it's valuable for pretty much anyone on any point of the healing journey.
Fantastic. That's the way to build a course. Helps everybody, beginners, and those people who are, kind of veterans, and then the people who are like, all right, I'm ready to kick it up a notch. I think the other thing that is so valuable for folks is that you have these different kinds of enemas in there, right? You have things like, okay, we're going to do a garlic enema. Why, how, when, right? Those types of things, which a lot of people don't ever get to. They don't talk about them, although Dr. Natasha certainly goes into them in the blue book and the yellow book, different kinds of enemas. So that's really wonderful that is there too. And that could really open open their eyes, open the horizon, like, oh, I didn't know I could use this, but I can. The enema that I love is the meat stock enema, frankly.
Oh, yes.
Of course, why would I love? No, I'm kidding. But
because I'm the queen.
There you go. But the reason that I think it's so important is to know about how you can nourish the body through the enema. You know, sadly, we are working with people who are very, very sick. And we are many times, many of us, many people, these beautiful, parents come with these children who cannot absorb food. Their digestive system is really wrecked. Maybe they're on a GI tube, you know, whatever. They've got a lot going on. And so, just the idea that you can use the enema to help to nourish the child or the adult, right? And that meat stock, yes, folks, meat stock can be brought in as a nourishing, a way of feeding the body from the other, using an enema, using that technique. And that's really wonderful to know when you're working with it. It can really give some of these moms and dads and caregivers hope that there's another way to get nourishing food into your child.
And you've raised a really important point here, Monika, because many clients, let's say with anorexia or bulimia or
Yes.
very severe digestive issues, and
Yes.
sometimes they cannot tolerate bigger amounts of food. They cannot,
Right.
The bulimic, they go and kind of, return the food back into the toilet,
Yes.
upper way,
They
rather
throw it
than
up.
they throw it up. But
Yeah.
but then that meat stock enema is just going to nourish, provide the nutrients, which will bypass the whole digestive system. So I think, anyone who's malnourished and cannot tolerate many foods, they should be considering meat stock enema for sure.
It's a tremendous, tremendous tool that I don't think people even know about.
Yeah.
But for these types of folks, it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. And of course, when you add in the sour cream, right? Now you're really making a nourishing. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You know me, I'm going to bring meat stock into everything.
And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
Oh dear, 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 dear. And I've seen some tremendous healing that way. It's really.
I think
Yes.
we underestimate the power of meat stock. We underestimate the power of enemas. We underestimate the power of real foods. And I think if we want to simplify our healing journey, I would just be doing a lot of meat stock and enemas, because that's just a great start to
Right?
Yeah.
We also underestimate the ability for the body to heal itself, when we take the toxins out and we put the real food in. Just like you said, those things, let the use this powerful detoxification method to really help the body, because sometimes it's not winning the healing journey, right? When it's really toxic, it's not winning. And this can really be an incredible help when you start doing enemas. Do one, do one a week, do one a month, try one, right? Like, just let's get this started. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, so your class does an amazing, provides an amazing service so that people can really go back to these, as you said, this time-tested, method, easy, old-fashioned. Isn't it funny? I mean, it's not funny, haha, but it's funny, it's funny, interesting how really, really what GAPS does, and I'm just gonna what GAPS does is it asks us, it invites us to go back to eating real food that was prepared in a way that your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, they've always done it this way. Traditional peoples all over the world have been preparing foods this way, right? Like, it's really about going back to the ways that we know work.
Oh, absolutely.
The food
absolutely.
and the techniques, right? The food, right? We also have castor oil packs. We've got Epsom salt bath. Like, these are natural, easy, very, very helpful tools on the journey.
And they're very, very compatible with our biology. So there's nothing to be afraid of. We just need to know how to adjust both the enema and GAPS journey to our bioindividual
Yes.
needs, because
Yes.
the more toxic we are, the more adjustment we need to probably make. But
Yes.
it's also powerful.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. All right. Is there anything else you would like to talk about here? Like, how do you want to sum it up, send it off? The Enema Masterclass. Tell
Yeah,
us.
I just wanted to add one thing about, we talked about benefits of enema, coffee enema, and so on. And of course, it's great for detox. It's great for opening the drainage pathways. It's good for microbiome. There are lots of people thinking whether
Yeah.
my microbiome is going to be affected. Well, it will be for the better. Because,
Yes.
once we remove that compacted matter, there will be less parasites, less pathogens, less yeast, less biofilms, and the good bacteria will thrive.
Yes.
We talked about, it's calming the nerves, because if we think about the ending of our nervous system is in the gut. And if there is constant flow of toxicity through our gut, of course, that nervous system will always be agitated. And the
Yes.
same applies to our immune system. But two things which I'm very excited about in terms of the benefits of coffee enema is that coffee enema grounds us. It basically takes the energy from here all the way to the bottom. And what is the benefit of it? Well, first of all, if you are a person who lives in your head and there is like a motorway in your head, and you have non-stop thoughts, and they obsessive and they negative, and then you cannot just switch it off, coffee enema takes it down. And number two, for those who are very sensitive to EMS, that grounding experience through enema is much more powerful than, I am all pro grounding on the, let's say, in the sand, on the grass, on natural, cuddling the trees. I invite everyone to do it. Enema is way, way more powerful. So if you combine those things, that EMF sensitivity will start going down. And
Wow.
the second super exciting thing, it helps to detox trapped emotions.
Oh, wait a minute. Did everybody hear that? It helps to detox trapped emotions. I know why I think that is, but you tell us.
So, first of all, many people hold to emotions, especially anger is in the liver.
Yes.
So when we hold onto something, especially in the liver, coffee enema will detox it. Will
Help
just
move it out.
help move it out. I have so many people reporting to me that they do coffee enema and they cry.
They
And they
cried.
cry. They cry and they cry, they cry and they cry and they cry and they cry. And that's wonderful, because that's a beautiful sign that that they're releasing some emotions, whether it's
Yes.
anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's frustration, whether it's whatever that emotion, the trapped emotion, because emotions are good. Anger is good if it utilized in the right way.
Yes.
It's the trapped one which can cause symptoms. So for that reason, I honestly invite anyone, and especially those with traumas, that can also elevate some of the symptoms. So I do invite you experiment with enemas. I invite you to check out that training session. It's such a great resource in terms of, there are so many practical videos. You will see how I am preparing that coffee solution. You will see how I prepare my bathroom to make the ceremony. You will see how I clean the kit, enema kit, because this is all very important things.
Yes.
Sometimes you can have mold kind of collecting in the tube, so it's very important to clean it properly. You don't want to add mold into your body,
No, we really don't.
especially those people who have already issues with the mold, and coffee enema is wonderful to detox from mold. So I do really invite people to check it out, because it's a great resource, and it will help you to make a decision which one to and how to incorporate it in your healing journey, how to troubleshoot it, because I think that troubleshooting is so important as well.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. So quick thing for everyone. we are entering autumn right now. I mean, it's important to detox all the time. Not all the time, but detoxification can be important all through the year. I'll say it differently. And we are currently entering large intestine time, large intestine time. I'm very aware of this when I work with my clients, etc. There are 2 times of the year when it's really a wonderful thing to, I say, to harness the energy of detoxification: fall and spring. Again, that doesn't mean you can't do enemas all year long, but in the fall, it really is large intestine time. Those are my, not rabbit ears, those are quotes. Large intestine, large intestine time. So let's use the enema. I'm going to be really encouraging all of my clients for the next, certainly all this fall, autumn. This is the time to grab that masterclass and jump right in. And again, we look at, right, because of large intestine time, and then spring, of course, is liver time, liver gallbladder. Another great time to really, shore up our enema knowledge. And I keep thinking of the Crappuccino. That's hysterical to me. It's just really, anyway. Yes. So, well, Monika, I'm so thrilled we had this conversation. As I said, I really find it an incredibly valuable resource. It is there, it's available. There's no reason not to, jump in and learn, and then start when you're ready and have your questions answered. And yeah, it sounds like a really incredible resource for everyone. And again, as we said, detoxification is a very big part of the GAPS journey. Like it's one of the things that really needs to be emphasized, because it's about supporting the body as it goes through, as you change the diet and you starve the pathogens and you bring in the good guys, and you've got die off. And so there's I always talk about the 2-track strategy. Like, you've got to have the food, but you've got to have the detox, and they go side by side, just like a train, right? Going down the tracks. If the train isn't on both tracks, you're not getting to your destination. So if we're not doing both of those things, of doing the food correctly, meaning taking out what we're supposed to take out, putting in what we need to be putting in, and in terms of GAPS, and then supporting that with a very, very consistent, dedicated, real detox protocol. And enemas are part of that. And they really can make your GAPS journey easier, faster. I mean, I'm not God, and no, neither are you. Everybody's journey is what it's going to be, but it certainly can help the body get to a place where it can tolerate these things much more easily, much more quickly, and you can get to your healing destination, if you will. It's a journey, right? With more ease, I would say. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And I think what you mentioned is so important about when we start the GAPS journey. The healing foods, especially meat stock and all the other foods and the fermented foods, they will start getting toxicity out from a very deep corners of your body. And coffee enema is there to help to mop them up and remove them from the body faster. Because if we think about coffee enema helps the body to produce glutathione by 600%. 600%, and even some scientists, they saying 700%, but it doesn't matter. Even if it was 500%, you basically get that toxicity moving around your body, and then glutathione comes and just swipes it down and you poop it out. So it's so important to do both. And I like your analogy about the train.
You got to be on both tracks.
Yes,
right?
Definitely,
you got to do,
definitely,
or you'll never get there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that for anyone who is listening, I will share the discount code 20% for the masterclass, for the Enema Masterclass. And so I will send it to you, Monika, so you can add it to your channel. I
will be sending it out. Absolutely. That is really, really wonderful. Thank you. That'll really help seal the deal.
Seal the deal.
If anybody's worried about, well, I'm not really sure. Here's 20% off. I'm in, right? Great. Thank you so, so much. And, thank you so much for all of your work, for all of your help, helping everyone, and for your work as a GAPS coach, and blessings on your journey.
Thank you for everything you do, Monika. You are inspiration for so many people as well, and I learned so much from you. And I love chatting with you and sharing. And thank you for the opportunity so we can actually speak about the things which are really important for people to help them heal faster. So thank you.
Yes. Well, let's do it again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Great. Great.